What's going on, my fellow Photoshoppers? It's Conti here with a Photoshopping tutorial. Today's image that we're going to have a go at creating is based on the loading window which appears just before the main menu for the 2009 PC game Left 4 Dead 2 by Valve. And the tutorial is made up of 3 sections. We're going to learn how to do the text at the bottom, the characters, as well as the background. To start off with, open the container yard image. The resolution for this image is 1055 pixels high and 1599 pixels wide. Go to the text tool on the toolbar. The font settings you want are as follows. The font family should be Berlin Sans FB Demi, which will automatically be bold. The size is 36 and the color is white. Go down to the bottom of your canvas, left click once and type in the text that you want to have appear on your poster. Use the move tool to select and drag your text where you want to appear. I'm going to keep it in the bottom left corner for the meantime, and now we're going to have a go at creating the background effects for your poster. Go to File and Open. Open the textured paper image. Go to Select and Color Range. Inside the Color Range box, select Sample Colors and make sure you go to Highlights. Click OK. Press Shift and Backspace on your keyboards. Choose Color from the list again. In the Choose a Color window which appears, type the following code next to the hashtag E7C31E. Click OK and OK on the fill box. Go to Edit and Copy. Go back to your container yard image and press Ctrl and V on your keyboard to paste the yellow scratches. Do not forget to save your work as we go through the tutorial. I do not want you to lose all your hard work. Double click on your scratches layer, which should already be highlighted, having pasted the yellow scratches in, and rename it Yellow Scratches for organizational purposes. Press enter when you are done. With the yellow scratches layer still selected, press Ctrl and T on your keyboard. Alternatively, go to Edit and Free Transform. I know which method I prefer. What you should see appearing is a selection box around your scratches. Hold Shift on your keyboard, go to a box in the middle side. I'm going to start on the right of the scratches layer. Click, left click and drag your layer to the side. Now go to the opposite side of your yellow scratches layer. Click on the small box and drag as well. Let go of your left mouse button when you have dragged it to the edge. Let go of Shift. You can press Enter. We are done. To reduce the intensity of the yellow scratches, go to Opacity and 100. Reduce to about 70%. You can also do this manually by clicking on the number and changing it using numbers on your keyboard. Press enter when you're done with that. Click Adjustments and Brightness and Contrast. Increase both the brightness and the contrast to maximum effect. Click back on Layers. Hold Alt on your keyboard and click in between both layers on your layer list. you should see an arrow appear above the yellow scratches layer, and you can see that the brightness only affects those scratches now and not the container yard. What we want to do now is create the brown sepia colour which goes with the background and also for the silhouette for the main character. In order to create this, go to New Layer, left click. I'm going to rename this Sepia. On your keyboard, hold Shift and Backspace to insert a colour again. Select Colour once more, as we did previously with the scratches colouring. This time for your sepia background you want to use the following code next to the hashtag 7E5C1B. Click OK and click OK again on the fill window. Select and drag the sepia layer underneath the yellow scratches layer. Go to create a new layer once again. I'm going to call this layer Upper Fade. Select the gradient tool from your toolbar. Go to the top and from the options you have, choose the foreground to transparent setting. In order for us to create the correct fade effect, we need to be able to see the containers. So go to the layer with the container yard and double click just under where it says background and the padlock alongside. I'm going to call this container yard. Click OK. Drag the container yard up above the sepia layer. With the gradient tool selected, ensure that the non-transparent section was black. Mode normal, opacity 100. Hold Shift, left click and hold and drag down until you are parallel with the corner of the second set of red containers on the left. Let go of your mouse. Create a new layer. I will rename this Flash. Select the brush tool from your toolbar. In terms of properties, the size you want for this brush is 900 using this particular canvas of the container yard. Hardness 0 and soft round. Opacity should be set at 100. Flow should also be set at 100. From the color palette on the side, double click on black and make sure you choose white. The code for this here, straight Fs. Using your selected brush tool, point to the middle of your screen and left click once. I'm pointing just towards the top of the green container set in the middle of the container yard image. Left click once. Hold Ctrl and T to go to free transform with the flash layer still selected. Stretch the white flash to the side so that it covers most of the container yard. Press enter when you're done. Select new layer. I'm going to rename this black ground. Press enter. Go to your marquee tool in your toolbar, select rectangular marquee tool, go to the bottom left corner of your canvas, left click and drag up so that you are approximately a fifth of the way up the screen. Drag all the way to the other side, let go of your mouse button once you're at the other end, hold Shift and Backspace. In the fill window, choose black. Click OK. To deselect the marquee tool, click Ctrl and D. Go to File, Open, and select the man in costume. Select the Magic Wand tool from the side. click on the white background around the man to make a selection. Notice how parts of the man's collar and tie are selected. We do not want to copy this into our main file. To deselect this, first of all, go and select the quick selection tool. Ensure that your brush size is no greater than 90, mine is at 87. Set the brush to subtract from selection. Alternatively, what you can do is hold Alt on your keyboard, and then with the minus symbol, the subtraction symbol appearing in the middle of the circle, click over the tie and collar. You should now only have a selection around the man. Notice how the white space between the man's legs is not selected. Go back to the magic wand tool, hold in Shift on your keyboard and click on the white in between the legs. Click on the section above as well to make sure everything is included. There is a selection line that appears in the middle here. What I will do is go back to quick selection tool, select plus, reduce the brush size to about 30, go back to the image of the man, left click over the selection. Now we have white space with no lines crossing in between the legs. To select the man, hold Ctrl, Shift and I. Notice how a section is appearing in the bottom here. I'm going to hold Alt and left click with my quick selection tool still selected. Now with the whole man selected, press Ctrl and C. Go back to your main image again and press Ctrl and V to paste. Rename the new layer Hero. In the Hero layer, double click in the space next to the word Hero to open up Layer Style. Go to Color Overlay. In the box with the color next to blend mode, double click. If this window appears here, click on Picker. The color you want for the man silhouette is 3D2A09. Click OK. Ensure that the color overlay box is ticked and you should see the man silhouette appear in the color you've just set. Click OK. Should there be any space at all where the collar appears like I can see here, what I'm going to do is use the clone stamp tool to select part of the color from the man's chest area by holding in Alt, left click once, let go of Alt and paint over where the collar should go. With the hero layer still selected, you can change the size by using Ctrl T to resize the hero. Ensure that the layer is still selected. Press Ctrl and T on your keyboard. Hold Shift. Click in one of the boxes in the corner of the selection box and reduce the image size to about 75%. Press Enter when you're done. Ensure that the hero layer is now behind the yellow scratches. Use the Move tool to reposition the hero as you want, and ensure that the flash layer appears in front of your hero also, like we saw in the original picture. With the flash image selected and the Move tool, left click and drag the flash down so that it appears like a sunset or sunrise just at the top of the black rectangle. Go back to your hero again, maybe lift slightly higher. Should you want your silhouette to stand out more, go to the yellow scratches layer. If these yellow scratches are obscuring the view, go to the eraser tool, change the eraser opacity to 50%, change the eraser size to at least 100. Ensure that the eraser is set to soft round. On the yellow scratches layer, using the eraser tool, go over the silhouette of your man so that it stands out in more detail. Keep on going until you're satisfied. Remember, some of the yellow scratchings in the original picture did appear intense, so don't think you need to completely erase all of them. Notice how just below the shoulders of the silhouette you can see the line where the flash layer ends. We do not want this to appear here as it spoils the fade effect. So what I am going to do is increase the size of the eraser to about 500. Reduce the opacity to 40. Select the flash layer. Go to the left of the left shoulder of the silhouette, left click and drag your eraser tool left and right to reduce the flash effect. You can see that the line from the flash layer is disappearing. Click maybe a few more times around the actual silhouette so that it stands out more. Now open up the robot image. Select the Magic Wand tool. Click on the white background, press Ctrl, Alt and I so that you only select the robot itself. Press Ctrl and C, go back to your original image and Ctrl and V to paste your robot. On the robot layer, double click next to the layer name to show layer style. Go to Color Overlay again. This time for the color, choose black. Click OK. This will stop any white lining appearing around the edges, which will spoil its effect with the rest of the layers. Using your Move tool, drag the robot to one side. Hold Ctrl and T to go to Free Transform. Left click on the corner box on the selected box which appears and drag outwards so that your robot increases in size. I'm going to increase it by an extra 40%, roughly. You can also change these measurements manually. I've changed it just by under 39%. Press Enter when you are done. Use the Move tool to drag your robot to the side. Go to Filter, Blur, and Gaussian Blur. Select 4.0 for the pixel measurement. Click OK. Double click in the Layer 1 name and rename that Robot 1. Right click on the Robot 1 layer and choose Duplicate Layer. We are now going to create the second robot. Name this layer Robot 2. Use the Move tool and click and drag your other robot to the far side. Use Shift if you want to keep them on the same level, it doesn't matter. Let go of your left mouse button when you are done. For layer ordering now, make sure that your flash and upper fade are above your sepia image, whereas the hero and the container yard are below this. The yellow scratches layer should also appear above the sepia image. Click on the sepia image and in the blending mode above, click on color. Ensure that the yellow scratch effects get moved down below Robot 1 and Robot 2. Don't forget as well to move the brightness also. I'm going to go over the yellow scratch layer again around the silhouette so that it stands out more, maintaining the 500 plus soft round eraser tool with an opacity this time of about 30%. Click gently over the yellow scratches layer over the silhouette. Don't forget to reduce the intensity of some scratches which you feel are too vibrant. Select the text layer and use the Move tool to drag the text to the middle. Press Ctrl and T inside the degree window which appears now in the top of your screen. Write -3 degrees to make the writing tilt anti-clockwise slightly. Press Enter when you're done. Open one of your paint splatter images. I'm going to use this one here, 115926. go to Select and Color Range. In the Color Range, in the selection box, choose Shadows. Click OK, go to Edit and define Brush Preset. Save this brush name as Paint Splatter 1. Click OK. Go back to your poster, create new layer. I'm going to rename this layer White Splatter. Select the brush tool. From the brush selection window, scroll down the menu and you should see your new brush appearing. Use Ctrl and plus to zoom in to your text. For this particular exercise here, I'm going to reduce the size to roughly 70 pixels. Click on the edge, ensure that the splatter effects appear around the actual edges of your letters, like so. In order to change the way that your splatters look on your writing, go to the brush option. Inside brush, you can change the orientation, the angle in which your splatter effects are painted, as well as the size. Once you are satisfied with your pattern, create a new layer and rename this Black Splatter. You can choose to use one of the other paint splatter options I gave you. For this moment, I'm going to use the same brush that I've used with the white. Ensure that your color palette is selected to black and ensure that the black splatter layer is selected. In order to make the text look broken and fragmented in certain places, make sure you don't paint the splatter directly over the letter. We only want small parts of the splatter to appear on each letter. So rather than pointing directly onto a particular letter such as the T, make sure that you drag your paintbrush out so that only parts appear there. As you can see on this bit here, only small sections can appear. Go to create a new layer, and this time we're going to create one for the blood red behind the O. I'm going to call this Red Splatter. Again, you can choose one of the other brush. Again, you can choose one of the other splatter images to use for your brush tool. Here, I'm going to stick with the one I've got currently selected. Go to the size tool here and increase it so that it is slightly bigger than the O. In this case here, I'm going to use a brush size of just under 300 pixels. Go to the palette option and use red. For the color, choose FF0000, click OK. Paint over the O and ensure, now that your text is above, ensure that your red section appears below your O. Create a new layer, Black Splatter 2. This is what we're going to use for the top of this black rectangle here. Ensure that your black splatter layer is below all other splatter layers and also the text itself. What I'm going to do for this final section here, using around 130 or 140 brush size, is paint over the edge of the black rectangle to create the splatter effect you saw in the original image. Go over it constantly inside the Black Splatter 2 layer until you are satisfied with what you have. And don't forget, you can also use the eraser tool to wipe out any unnecessary black splatter which you might have. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. To support this channel, please like and subscribe, and join me again for another Photoshop tutorial soon. Take care.